What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another Pirate101 record. Today we are going to do a tutorial on how to make a pirate in Pirate101. Anyways, let's get into the recording. So the first thing you need to do is go to where it says new in the bottom right corner and hit create a new character. So the dialogue really normally just says somewhere in the spiral, or just says somewhere in the spiral, so it takes place in a different world in the spiral. So Boochbeard and Gandry are two of the tutorial guides, and they just basically give you into detail of what you want to choose. So I'm going to choose boy, but for the preferences, you could choose boy or girl for better names and stuff. It's whatever you guys feel. Anyways, name is all your decision. Personally, I heard that girl names are better, but I just decided to pick boys, so I'm just going to pick a random name. A name is permanent after you create your character, so you should better basically choose wisely on what you should pick. So I'm gonna do Ruthless, Ernest, Neesmith. Nah, let's do Nesbit. Ruthless, Ernest, Nesbit. They tend to just go in dialogue about just in the tutorial, and they just don't trust you yet until you play a little later to the tutorial. So the parent thing is how you just lose your parents, basically, as they just said. So I'm going to get into explaining each and every. So mutiny is your parents die of poison or just death itself. And you get a companion called Deadeye Mike, or Dead Mike, I mean. My bad, I just messed that up. Anyways, Dead Mike is just a Buccaneer companion. He's okay. Honestly, all the Presidio companions are alright for the most part. Shipwreck is probably the best one. Shipwreck, you're lost in buried treasure and you get a shipwreck, and you get Jack Russell. Jack Russell is a privateer companion, which I'll get into what each class means. And basically, he's probably the best, in my opinion. You would use him for Witch Doctor and Privateer. I'll get into it a little bit of what each and every class is. Squid Attack. Squid Attack is you just Squid Attack, obviously. What all these mean is what happened. So Squid Attack, you get Burgess Lastro. He is a crab companion. He is Buccaneer as well. Armada, I don't know the name of the guy, but you get a guinea pig, and he's Buccaneer as well. But basically, with the explanation of the Armada, you just get killed by the Armada. Armada is like the bad guys throughout Pirate101 story. I'll do a tutorial also to explain it, give a little explanation. Storm, you get this guy named Milo Greytail. He is a swashbuckler. So mainly the only two classes you don't get is Witch Doctor and Musketeer are the only classes that you don't get Presidio companions based on that class. Well, meaning you can't get a Witch Doctor Presidio companion or a Musketeer Presidio companion, unfortunately. So anyways, I'm gonna pick, I'll just do Mutiny, because why not? They just give dialogue to explaining all of them. Ironically, they don't trust us, so that's weird. So this is where you grow up. In the parentheses, or in the brackets, they give you what it gives. So Grizzleheim is naturally tough. Naturally tough is having more hit points later on. So it's a hit point that like gains every time when you level up. Born Sneaky, which is Skull Island, is it gives you a +5 dodge bonus. So like when you're max level, you'll get your max dodge and stuff. And the dodge will add up because you get the extra dodge, you get the extra 5. But personally, that's not really a good one. Born Warrior, that is a decent one. It gives +5 damage, weapon power. Weapon power is very important for certain classes, especially Buccaneer and Swashbuckler. But personally, I wouldn't do Born Warrior. I would do Krokotopian. Krokotopian is naturally spooky. Spooky's good for almost every class besides Buccaneer, I feel. Spooky can give your powers more damage and stuff depending on what class you are. So if you're Swashbuckler, later in game you get poisons and stuff, and these poisons are based off of Spooky and stuff, spell power, which Spooky gives spell power. I have about two classes with Spooky. I regret that I did with my Musketeer. I should have got Spooky, but it's fine. And then Keen Eyes. Keen Eyes, you mainly do that for Musketeer, or depending on whatever you want. Keen Eyes, I do that, yeah, for Musketeer and stuff. And it gives a +5 accuracy. So, anyways, those are just pretty much all where you've grown up. So I'm going to just do maybe Naturally Spooky. Why not? So these are the classes. Each class has its specific traits and stuff. So let me get into it. So Buccaneer, let's start off with Buccaneer. Buccaneer is a strength-based class. What that means is it revolves on having strength and stuff. So its main thing is strength, and if you buff that and stuff, and later in the game when you get better and better as you progress with better gear and stuff, and you get more buffs, Buccaneer is good for its strength. Swashbuckler. Swashbuckler is very sneaky. They tend to go into the shadows and they do damage when they're in shadow range, pretty much. What that means is like when you're playing, you could sneak around people and do major damage, which is very good. Honestly, these two are like your hitters for the most part, but Swashbuckler hits very hard when it's especially in sneak. When you have that naturally spooky, it gives a buff to your poisons, so I always get spooky too if you're a Swashbuckler. Musketeer, depending if you want to go hybrid. Hybrid means you go basically a witch base and a musket base combined. Later in the future, I'll explain all about that. Witch Doctor, he's a hoodoo class. It's very good for its spells. If you ever played Wizard 101, it's basically the spell class. It does so much damage with its spells, and especially in later game, once you get this certain companion, he will be extremely good. Privateer. Privateer is considered like the tanky class, like Buccaneer's a little tanky, but tanky, like the most tank, is Privateer. Privateer gives the most hit points and gives heals that can help everyone. And it can be based off of having some good powers to make their powers powerful, but mainly the spooky helps to make their heals go up, which heals are important in certain areas. Like if you're doing an extreme battle with people and you need a privateer, privateers are best for that, best for healing and stuff, best for buffing and support. It's a support class. And these two are based off of will. That is their buff. That is their like major thing to make them that trait, to make them that exact pirate. So that's personally will. And then Swashbuckler and Musketeer are agility. Agility makes everything go faster and and stuff, and just makes it much better for them. So agility is their main base. So anyways, I'm gonna pick Musketeer. It's up to you. It's a one and done decision. You have extra slots. You have a total of 6 slots, but I'm gonna just do Smuggling Musketeer. So this is the customization. The customization is your one and done customization of making your face and stuff. You can't change your hat or hair color or any of that, but once we get to the ship thing, you can change it, but it will cost credits, which is a thing based off like the game called Crowns. So anyways, you can customize your guy wherever you want. So I'm gonna make him like that. Make him. No, that hair's nice. I'll stick with that. So the base and trims are just like for the hat, the torso, and the boots. I try to match stuff to make it look nicer, but it's up to you. Okay, that's perfect. Like, it's close enough to match. Some of the colors that you want, you won't get from torso, the boots and stuff. So you're gonna have to work with the closest color, unfortunately. So with the flag, what the flag means is you get a ship later on. So when we do the tutorial, I'll explain more about ships. So anyways, let's pick our flag. You have various amount. You have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. You have a total of 8 pages of choices of what you want. So what I did on my Musketeer, because this isn't my main account, this is just an alt account to explain about the tutorial and stuff. I did the Ram because I felt the Ram was cool. But you should do what you feel is right for the class. I personally, if you're a Musketeer, I would go something like a Hawk or a Ram or something you think is based off of Musketeer. So I'm going to do the Hawk. I'm going to make him have brown and make him a little... make him tan. Tan and brown. This is the background of the icon of your flag. So I normally go stars, but I'm gonna do. I'll try this. This will look good. Maybe I'll do green and then a little red. That's fine. So yeah, like what Boochbeard said, that's like the colors for your flag represent every companion you get. Or your ships and stuff, that's what it'll represent. Alright, so let's do this. Whoa, alright, we're not gonna skip it. So this is the tutorial. This will explain everything. So the arrow keys or WASD are your movements for your character, or you can hold on your mouse and just hold the left and right key buttons or the click buttons to make your guy keep moving. Spacebar, or you could click more to make the dialogue go, but I normally do spacebar. So yeah, so X is important. X you use for like almost anything, like you're using it for opening chest and stuff later in the game, and yeah, it's just an important button. companions. You get companions later on. You get multiple companions. For Musketeer, Musketeer gets the least. Privateer gets the most. It's just whatever. Everyone gets more than one companion, obviously. I just realized how Gandry runs. Deacon, he's a enemy. He's the antagonist to Pirate in the early beginning. But yeah, this is gonna be your first time you're gonna do combat and stuff, so you'll get to learn everything, and that's basically, for the most part, everything until we get to the ship. But this is gonna be combat. This is gonna be your first thing. So, combat's based off of a checkers board. Or a battle board, what he explains. You can move like that. Do that. You can move left, right, up, down, right, left. But you can't go further than this. Where it has the line boxes, that's like the limit. So I'm going to go in and hit him. You could do whatever for the tutorial. You could just start off and stuff. But mainly they want you to attack. And done is obviously you're done the round. You normally attack first depending on what battle. But that's not always all the case. What she just did was a critical attack. That can happen with a chance of what you have. As you level, your crits get higher as you level up. As they said, if you have 0 HP, you're dead, pretty much. You normally start off with your max HP, and if you ever die and stuff, you can go to a life fountain. I'll show you that too, but that's about it. So, Wing Chun, you normally get about 2 to 3 companions each time, but in the beginning you only have 1. So you just stick with the companions you got. These companions help you basically to make the game easier as you progress. As he did a crit. So now he's getting attacked. If your companions ever die, there's always a second chance and stuff. You could always do that. Incendiary shot. You get powers as you level, like I said. So to finish them off. Battle Angels are also one of the heavily superior Armada guys that you fight later in the game. And they're pretty good for the most part. You could get one from packs and stuff. Packs are important later in the game, but we won't really explain it this episode of the recording of the tutorial. So, we're not going to get into it. Anyways, Dragoons, they're also a big thing for the Armada. All of these guys, the Armada is just your antagonist throughout the game, for the most part. Butchbeard saved our lives. He's the hero now. So we're getting off of the prisoner ship, I think. Ooh, no. Butchbeard got shot at. For the most part, when I got to this part, I thought it was hilarious because he just looked drunk the entire time, but it's whatever. So now you hit X to launch your ship. So it's the same keybinds, WAs. maneuver like what Boochbeard's saying, left to right, A, D, WS, or the two arrow keys, the left, right, up and down. So you normally press W fully until that in the right corner where your ship HP is, that gets maxed. Z is a boost, which boosts your ship. It's very useful, especially when you're ship combat or like when ships are around. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are your keybinds when you attack someone, for the most part. But anyways, that's how you boost, and this is how you like maneuver. So yeah. So now we're gonna mark it down. So that was pretty much the tutorial. You talk with him to start off your journey, and your journey is about 70 levels. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you into the next tutorial or recording.